What's going on, YouTube? Back at it again today with the second video of the day. If you missed my Edge player rankings, you can go check those out. And yeah, I don't know why I sound so slow talking right now. Without further ado, let's get into our linebacker rankings. Starting off with our number one, there is starting to be some debate here, but I have Micah Parsons still here. My comp from him is Kenneth Murray. It's Kenny Murray, the Chargers linebacker. I don't see him slipping out of the top 20. However, he could. He's got some off the field issues right now, which are honestly a little concerning. There was some, aggressive issues that came up that happened a couple years ago, but I kind of wrote those off. And then there's a report out there that I'm not going to tell you about, but he did some weird things to his, I think it was his college buddies. So the off the field issues could be concerning. If you look at a talent level with Micah Parsons, he is an incredible talent. Pass coverage, he's not the best pass coverage linebacker, not by a mile, but literally everything else he's great at. He's an elite run defender, and he's still capable as a linebacker, but he could be the best edge player in this class. That's how good he is. So he's pretty versatile in that, where he can play linebacker or edge, both if you really want him to. So I don't think he's going to fall out of the top 20, but he could, just because of the off the field issues. Overall, as a talent, though, Micah Parsons is still great. And I should also tell you guys, my rankings are based off of talent. If it included the idea of injuries, Jalen Phillips would not have been 3. There's a guy on here that will not be number 5, I believe he is. So just forewarning, I'm not taking into account injuries as much, but yeah. Number 2, we have JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Reminds me a lot of Minkah Fitzpatrick, both smaller guys that coming out of college could have played linebacker or safety. And honestly, there's a possibility that JOK might transfer to safety better than linebacker. His versatility is obviously where his strength is, but he is also a very speedy and he's very physical at times. Now, he does lack in the overall strength. He's a bit of a smaller guy, a smaller build. So as a linebacker, if you're putting him on tight ends, say Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, he's going to have a tough time. As a safety, though, he could be very good, and I still think he can be a great linebacker. Definitely a first-round guy, super versatile. JOK is a really, really good player. And personally, I don't think any of these linebackers are safe. I think any one of these linebackers could be busts, honestly. I don't think there's a single safe one. And at the very worst, I think JOK is just a backup, though, but at that, a pretty good backup. Then at number 3, we have maybe a surprising face in Jabril Cox. I share my love of Jabril Cox with Broshmo because this dude is a phenomenal pass coverer. As a run defender, he's definitely not the best. He's not the best tackler in the world, and his football IQ is definitely questionable at times. But as a straight-up pass coverer, he's already one of the best in the league just coming in out of college. He reminds me a lot of Patrick Onwuasor, I believe is how you say it. But he's a fair bit bigger, actually. He's very big for a linebacker. He's like 6'4" and like 238 or something like that. I don't expect him to go to the second round, although I have a first-round grade on him. Again, a bit of a boomer bust player just because, the run defense, the IQ, all fixable stuff, but, something he definitely needs to work on right now. But as a straight-up pass coverage guy, he is amazing, and that's simply why he's here at number 3. Then at number 4, we have Serat. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering where a lot of these guys are, and we'll get to them. Serat is one of my favorite players in the draft, not based off of talent, just my own personal favorite players. I say Luke Kuechly here, and that's because not only do I think he plays like Luke Kuechly, but Serat is actually a former quarterback. And if you didn't know, Luke Kuechly actually claims he was so good because he thought like a quarterback. And I think that's such an amazing way to look at it, because some of the best cornerbacks are former wide receivers. Some of the best wide receivers are formerly cornerbacks, and it can be same for the linebacker position and the quarterback. If you're a linebacker and you think like a quarterback, you could be Luke Kuechly, obviously. I don't think it was going to go to like the 3rd round, And again, a bit of a boomer bust player because he is extremely raw. But like a few of these other players, for how raw he is, he's extremely smart at the position, and he's shown some really, really good things. Although it looks like he has a really skinny build, he's actually a bit of a bigger guy and plays like it. All around, Serat is one of my sleepers in the draft because I really, really like him, and I think he could be a great linebacker in the league. Then at number 5, now I know people are starting to lose it, and just stick with me, okay? Dylan Moses here at number 5. I compare him to Mario Davis. Listen, I know not a lot of people like him, and I'm not saying he's going to go high. I don't think he's going to go to the 4th round. But listen, look at the way he played in 2019, and look at the way he played in 2020. Now here's a quick fun fact. In 2019, he was not playing with a torn meniscus. Let's jump ahead to 2020. Fun fact, he was playing with a torn meniscus. And I think was actually still he was still a competitive linebacker. He wasn't good, but he was competitive. This guy was projected to be a top 5 pick a year ago. And then after some injuries and playing with a torn meniscus, now people hate him. Like I just forewarned earlier, I do not do this off of injuries because in all reality, based off of this last season and the injuries and stuff, he probably shouldn't be in your top 10. But if you take away the injuries, this guy's arguably the number 1 linebacker in the class. I know that his draft value has been completely destroyed because of this last year, but if he gets healthy, he'll be an amazing linebacker. He's literally not bad at anything. It's just the injuries. Just like Jalen Phillips, just like another player we'll talk about tomorrow. If the injuries don't bother him, he might be the best linebacker in this class. And that's why he's here at number 5. Okay? Now, I know, Nick Bolton, Zaven Collins, Jamin Davis fans are screaming right now. Oh, which by the way, Zaven Collins actually is not in this video. I call Zaven Collins an edge rusher because I think that's what he's going to be. However, I don't have him in my top 10 because I just don't think he's good enough to be in my top 10. So forewarning, get mad at me if you want. Moving on to number 6. Nick Bolton, his fall stops. Reminds me a lot of Josie Jewell, but he's obviously a bit smaller. I think he'll go somewhere in the 2nd round. His size is a bit concerning. Smaller linebackers can work out in the NFL, but when you're a run defending linebacker, but you're also small, and linebacker is kind of one of those positions that regardless of how physical you are, your size is always going to is always going to decide your physicality. So unfortunately, Nick Bolton is not the most physical person, even though he's a run defender. Pass defense definitely needs some work. And although, I think people are sleeping on Nick Bolton because I think the 3rd round is a pretty ridiculous. I also see where they're coming from. I still really like Nick Bolton. He's a boomer bust player for sure, but I still really like him. He's here at number 6 for me, but I still think 3rd round is a little ridiculous for him. Also super athletic. Then at number 7, yes, now you Jamin Davis fans can stop screaming. Zach Cunningham feels like the perfect fit. I literally couldn't think of a linebacker that matches the size / athleticism more perfectly. He is athletic, maybe the most athletic player in the class. I'm not denying that. But to me, I think that's really all he is. Looking at him play, sure, he is athletic. He's speedy. I mean, he's a very explosive. But his IQ is very bad. And his run defense is even worse. He's not a good tackler. He's a horrible tackler. And that's why I have him here now at number 7, because I think he'll still be, a 1st rounder. He still has the potential to be one of the better linebackers in the NFL. But he is super, super boom or bust because some of the other players, he's just athleticism and that's it. So I get it why people like him, but I think 1st round and a top 3 linebacker, I've even seen him at number 2, I think is a little high and way too ridiculous. So Jamin Davis is down here at number 7 for me. Then at number 8, we have Monty Rice out of Georgia. Reminds me a lot of Nick Bolton, but I wouldn't say he's as good, so dollar store Nick Bolton for me. I think a 3rd round sounds about appropriate for him, where other people have Nick Bolton going. I also like Monty Rice a bit more than probably some other people. Another boom or bust player, though, because, again, like I said, your size depends, or your size decides your physicality in the NFL, and sadly, Monty Rice is a very small person. Being that, he uses his speed and his explosiveness to his advantage, even more than a player like Nick Bolton or Jamin Davis, in my opinion. There's a lot of Monty Rice haters out there, and I don't get why. He's small. He's not going to be able to cover the linebackers as well. But when it comes to a speedy guy making the plays, I think he'll be great. As a number 1 linebacker, absolutely not. But number 2 or a depth guy, he'll be great. So then number 9, we have Cameron Mcgrone out of Michigan, and LJ Fort is like a great comparison for me. For some reason, I forgot to put in my projected pick here, but I see him somewhere around the late 3rd, maybe 4th round. Cameron Mcgrone is kind of the first linebacker where I see his ceiling being just a starter. I don't ever think he's going to be a top-tier linebacker like Monty Rice, like Nick Bolton. The size is just not there, so therefore the physicality is not there. But, like the few other guys, he uses that to his advantage. He's a much faster linebacker. He's very explosive. I just think out of some of the other guys on here, like Monty Rice and Nick Bolton, I'd say he's the worst out of those small, speedy guys, and pretty boom or bust. And his boom to me is a starter, so he's here at number 9. And then with our last linebacker of our linebacker rankings, we have Baron Browning, who reminds me a lot of Corey Littleton, size and all. 3rd round seems about right for him, maybe late 3rd round. And again, could slip into the 4th. But another guy that, he's pretty boom or bust, but his boom is a starter. He's very quick, very athletic. The problem with Baron Browning isn't his size. He's actually got really nice size, almost above average. He's just not a good. His senses are not there. He does not have a high football IQ, which is what I think is going to prevent him from ever truly being a good linebacker. That's why I think at the best he's a starter. Very similar to Corey Littleton. There's times where he just kind of just doesn't make the plays. He just misses the tackles. Or just sometimes completely just doesn't even make a play. He'll have really good games every now and then, but overall, I just think his IQ needs to be improved a lot. If his IQ is improved, he has the size, he has the speed, he has the explosiveness, he has it all. He just needs to be a smarter player, and he could be a very good linebacker. But that is my linebacker rankings for the 2021 NFL Draft. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. The cornerback's next. Comment down your linebacker rankings below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.